More data to clean up in the animation progress. Today I want to look at the data for updating the BoxCollider during runtime. And I'm going to follow the same pattern. I'm going to look into Sophie, subcomponents. Let me create an empty game object. I'll call it BoxCollider Updater. Apply it to the original prefab. I'm going to go into the subcomponents folder, create a new C# script, BoxCollider Updater, go in there. The usual namespace. And this class is going to inherit from the subcomponent class, which means we also have to override onFixedUpdate as well as onUpdate. I'm also going to have a separate class for holding on to the data inside the data folder. I'll name it BoxCollider Data. This is not going to be a mono behavior, just a simple class inside the subcomponent. I'll just name it BoxCollider Data. In the beginning, I'm going to initialize it. The subcomponent processor will also have a reference. Subcomponent processor. BoxCollider Data. So here, we set up the reference. I should also add the script to the game object. BoxCollider Updater. Make sure that it's applied to the original, so it's applied everywhere. So now that we have a separate subcomponent, all this data, I'm going to cut it, put it in here. Don't need the header anymore. So we have some bold data, some floats, and some vectors. Let me rename this, make it a little more clear. Size, update speed. First, how fast we're updating the BoxCollider. Center update speed. I'm also going to initialize this inside the subcomponent. Okay, by default, I'm just going to say false. Landing is also false by default. Speed, just 0 float. Vectors by default will be 0. Let's make sure everything is saved. Save all. And now that the data has moved, gotta fix the errors. First, let me create a shortcut inside character control. BoxCollider Data. Get it from the subcomponent processor. So I can now take care of the red marks. Just change the references. BoxCollider data. Okay, let's check the other errors. I also need a shortcut inside character state. BoxCollider data. It is from character control, subcomponent processor, and then BoxCollider data. So back in the error, we just use that reference, BoxCollider data, get to the target size, as well as target speed. And the same with everything else. Target center. Center update speed. Is landing. Probably shouldn't be inside the BoxCollider data, but I'll take care of that later. For now, let me just fix the errors. Change the reference. Okay, we have a couple more. And the same thing, just use BoxCollider data. This should be the last one. Okay, let me also make it serializable. The data, system serializable. So if I look at the subcomponent processor, here we see the data. If I play, it should be the same. Okay, we see the data being changed. Nothing has changed other than the fact that we've moved some data around. And the game looks like it's working fine. If I look in the character control again, character control. Now, there's a lot of dirty stuff in the fixed update, especially these lines where we're updating the BoxCollider during runtime. These things, just like everything else, I'm going to move them into individual subcomponents. In this case, the BoxCollider updater. And I'll carry on in the next video. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.